Good luck.
The longer it goes, the tougher it is in there. We are underway. 174-pound final. Joe Smith in the orange. Oklahoma State taking on Mark Hall in the blue for Penn State. NCAA champion Mark Hall, junior world champ. He's won just about all there is to win at this point in his career. Finger fight. Joe Smith comes out with a collar tie. He's good off the collar, likes ankles.
And we saw the pace of Joe Smith pick up so significantly last round. It was unbelievable to me. In fact, I spoke to Coach Perry about it, and he said while he expected that type of an outcome, meaning he expected him to beat McFadden, he didn't expect him to use that type of a pace for that long.
Yeah, and you can already tell, you know, where they are center of the mat. He's been able to pull. He's pulled the Hall to his knees a couple times now. They're exchange in the middle, kind of standing straight up. Now pulling on the head is Mark Hall. Mark Hall, of course, like you mentioned, one of the most varied skill sets in the country. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Great scramblers, got nice duck unders, single leg, high crotch. He can do it all.
I love the fact that he can go upper body. He can go
Yes.
lower body. He can go offense. He can go defense. He can go to both sides. He is, again, I can't say enough about how much this young man can do.
And, you know, what you didn't mention is his top riding ability, and that was what was so huge against his match against Zahid Valencia.
Yes.
He was able to ride him the entire third period and the end of the second. Can't say enough good things about Mark Hall, but right now we're 90 seconds in, still scoreless. No one's really got off a legitimate attack yet. As they've been there's a pass by, near leg in for a moment. They're now 2-on-1 for Joe Smith, but Mark Hall, tricky, tough guy to get a hold of. He's able to square up.
That is actually how he got his first takedown against McFadden, if I'm not mistaken. And it's that simple little pass by that most people don't really take advantage of the hip-to-hip position. Joseph does a great job of it.
Good job by Mark Hall squaring up. And, you know, you mentioned the pace of Joe Smith. How many times have we seen Mark Hall impacted by pace? I can't really recall. It doesn't happen much. You know, Zahid Valencia, did he just straight up beat him? Did he wear him out? I think that was just outskilled in the times he's lost to Zahid.
Look at Mark Hall using both hands, Muay Thai grip on the back of the neck of Joe Smith. Now that gets exhausting after a bit.
Yeah, we'll see how long he lets Joe lets him in. There you see Joe holding that head down, or head being held down. Now 22 seconds to go. It's been some hard hand fight. Not a lot of attempts at this point still. The mat could play a huge factor here. Underhook right side for Joe Smith, cleared out. And back on that collar. This is really interesting. And that, you know, you mentioned the variety. I've never really seen Mark that attentive and that persistent at getting a Muay Thai grip like that.
It's crazy. Again, I've never seen it at all.
And there's really hard to score from that position if you're Joe Smith. But it's also hard for Mark to score.
It's almost impossible for either guy to score. However, it does go a long way in burning out the glutes and the hammies of your opponent. It is miserable in there trying to keep your head up.
So second period now, Joe Smith going to start the period underneath. As we mentioned, Mark Hall really tough on top, can get wrists and tilt. Quick stand up Joe Smith, but locked around the waist as Joe Smith tries to bait a locked hands call.
I think, you know, it might be a little bit of that. It's also, it could also be he just wants to get the guy's hands unlocked for a quarter second to reestablish himself.
Yep, that could be, as Mark's got that ankle trapped. Now across the throat is Mark Hall. Trying to build up is Joe Smith, up to his feet, looking for hand control. Is Joe Smith, does he have it?
That's more than 5, I'd say.
There, he's away.
Back to that Muay Thai grip, 2 hands on the head.
So 1-0 lead, Joe Smith gets away in 27 seconds. Pretty impressive work underneath by Joe Smith.
Hey, Joe Smith is pretty darn good on top too. So is it out of the realm of possibility that he puts together a minute and 27 seconds of riding time?
Not outside the realm, but Mark is just so rarely ridden.
I agree.
It's tough to predict that, but we'll see. And as you mentioned, he's good. And there's a shot from Mark Hall, but Joe Smith's ready. Tight match so far. Looking for that ankle is Joe Smith. Underhook right side, hips all the way in there.
I'd be very, very tentative in there.
If you're Joe Smith?
Yes.
Yeah, because Mark Hall, as you mentioned,
He's
really good
so
upper body.
good.
Now short offense position here. Mark Hall clears up, comes back up to his feet. 44 seconds to go in the second period. Back to the Muay Thai grip is Mark Hall.
I'm not sure if anyone can see it, but Joseph's father, John W., was hiding behind a barricade, peeking out, just watching the match. It's real. Look at it. He's actually behind the barricade right now watching.
Yeah, in the corner for Joe is his cousin Chris Perry and Coach Zach Esposito. Cale Sanderson, Casey Cunningham cornering Mark Halls. We got 12 seconds to go here in the second. High pace, low action.
Oh, I don't know. Some people don't like defensive football games. That's what this looks like to me, and I love it. Give me the hand fight. These guys, put them in the middle of a phone booth. They're going to scrap it out, and I absolutely love it.
All right, now it's Hall's opportunity underneath, and you have to figure complete gridlock. Joe is going to dedicate himself to this right here as best he can. Lines up on that right side of Mark Hall, goes chop. Tripod right there for Mark Hall. Now knee and a kickstand up to his feet right away. Hand control for Mark, he's out. We're not in at 1. We're going to settle this on our feet. No stall warnings, riding time not a factor. 1:47 to go in the third.
There hasn't been I don't think anyone's gotten their hands locked on a leg yet, so.
Nope.
Oh, there it is.
And is Joseph starting to sprint a little bit here?
Yeah, I think so. He picked the
double leg, but those hips of Mark Hall, he just pops him with him, pulls him straight up.
Yeah.
Now a shot from Mark Hall. They're starting to mix it up. 90 seconds to go in regulation.
I tell you what, he's feeling it though.
Who?
I think Joseph's feeling it.
Feeling what? Elaborate. Is he tired?
I don't think. No,
Okay.
I think he's actually feeling the timing. So when I say that, I mean he's starting to see things. Things are starting to slow down for him. Now, I'm not saying he's out of the woods or that he's definitely going to win, but I am saying that he's opening up with his hand fighting.
So collar tie for Joe Smith, starting to pull, trying to open up maybe an ankle there. Now a minute to go. Joe Smith staying in his face. Underhook right side for Mark Hall. He was running to it, but Joe Smith able to clear it really well. 52 seconds to go. Still knotted at 1. There's a low shot, kind of looking for that ankle.
The far ankle.
Yeah. And normally, sometimes you see Mark fall all the way on that right hip for that one. It's not there. 40 seconds to go now.
He's got to be careful clearing out of that Muay Thai grip. Okay, if you go backwards, it's almost there's
double leg in deep is Joe Smith, but once again, Mark Hall able to pop him, pull him up with an overhook. Great defense from Mark Hall.
Holy smokes, we have got a barn burner to start
and
off.
now what a re-attack. Mark Hall's in deep, standing single. Joe Smith's going to try to roll in, and they're going to get the cradle. He's got it locked up. Oh, he's getting the count. Can he get the fall? 2 and 2 for Mark Hall right at the end of regulation. And Mark is going to take this one. Beautiful re-attack. He finishes. And Mark Hall, a 3-time Southern Scuffle champion.
CP,
Yo,
I got to tell you, I don't know how many times I can see this kid Mark Hall be down and almost, not that he was dead to rights, but he was certainly moving backwards, and then he gets the W.